A lot of men are confused about what practicing birth skills mean. I mean, that honestly, understandable. You're not going to do the birth. You don't have pre-birth experiences. It unfolds. It's unknown. You can't plan it. You probably have very little to say about the health care that your baby's mother has. You may or may not have ever gone to an appointment. She expects you to be there. You're maybe being told that you should be supporting her choices, and if she's really into the natural birth movement, you're being told you should protect the sacred space of birth, which is, what's that? I mean, honestly, women have been crazy with each other. They still are. The idea that women can only birth where they feel safe. What? Women are birthing in war all the time, and in poverty, and in famine, and in natural disasters. My goodness, that is like the definition of middle class privilege, to believe that we can create a safe environment. And we just birth. You have to birth. And you can't try it out beforehand. So when Birthing Better Families developed these skills, we had to practice them. We had to integrate them into our body. We couldn't rub the skills on our skin and expect to know how to use them as the unknown unfolds. So how did we practice? Well, exception of the internal work and the body skills, we just practice doing anything else. I mean, you're breathing now, so you can practice your breathing skills doing anything else. It doesn't sound, it's not going to interfere, nobody needs to know. Same way with the relaxation. And the closer you get to understanding a woman's body, because you share the same one, if you're sitting down now, can you make the sit bones you're sitting on a little further apart? Well, yes, you can. Can you mobilize your sacrum? Yes, you can. So your partner's going to do the hip lift on you and the sacral maneuver. You're going to feel those things. You can do the pelvic clock and soften inside your bony pelvis while you're sitting here talking to me. You can breathe in and expand inside your pelvis just like I can. You can breathe out and go around mentally and soften inside just like I can. See, you've practiced. So the only things that you need to practice are the body skills. And if you and your partner think, geez, her body's mobile, it's not going to be a problem, you'll remember to do it if you need to. Chances are you may not. The internal work, there isn't a practice. It's doing the practice of doing the internal work. In other words, 5 minutes a day for 8 weeks. Can you do that? So when I'm told by women, and I'm told by women a lot, I don't have the time to learn skills. I'm busy. And then they rattle off a bunch of things they're busy with. You're busy too. So if I ask women, what's going to happen when your baby's born? Are you going to have time to be with your baby? Oh, of course I am. Of course. Once my baby's born, I have all the time in the world. The baby is here now. Oh my God, you're pregnant with what? Football? Soccer ball? Fishing pole? Boat? What's in there? It's your baby. Your baby's here. She's nonsense. So you need to understand that you have to learn skills now and practice them so that you can apply your birth coaching skills. Now, I want to tell you another sort of a thing about women. I have worked with tens and thousands of families, and I can honestly tell you about half of the women have absolutely no interest. Half of the men would just dive into a pregnant body in a minute and be pregnant. So you need to understand that fathers, as human beings, have a fascination with women's bodies, just as women have a fascination with men's bodies. It's very, very, very common to do that. And so it's important that you understand that you have to practice your skills, and you can practice them separately than your partner, because you have your job, she has her job. And when you learn skills, it's a good idea to each learn skills that you want to learn rather than try to learn them all together. So you have an interest in how to help her, and you have a course set out for you. She has an interest in how to do the birth, and we have courses set out for her. Much of the content overlaps, some of it doesn't. But when you're learning skills, have her pick the skills she wants to learn, you pick the skills you want to learn, then teach each other. It's called teamwork. And that means that you practice a little bit together, practice on your own for each of your tasks. When do you start using the skills? Breathing you can use anytime in pregnancy, even just being bored. A lot of fathers said, well, I went and had a tattoo and I used the breathing and relaxation skills. That's fine. So definitely, as you know the birth is beginning to unfold, either the labor contractions are beginning to start or you're on the way to the hospital to have a cesarean. Once you define this is the 5th phase of pregnancy, really begin to use the skills, put those skills into practice, because as this activity unfolds, it does become more dramatic, which means that you need to use the skills in a more refined manner. You can do this. We're all human beings. We can master skills. And when we have a mastery of skills, we feel very proud of ourselves, as we should.